Okay, so this is an updated video of my mower ramp for just cutting grass so that I don't have to pull that big trailer that I have. I modified it, I changed it a little bit, and then also some people have asked if I would post a video of, or I guess take still shots, but I think a video will probably be better, of the mounting points, where it mounts and how it sits and how it installs and all that stuff. The last video was kind of a far away view of what the deal was. So this is the truck that it's on. It's a 1500 Silverado LS. I have a Curt hitch on it, class 4 I believe it is. You know, the way that the hitch installs, I think, will determine whether or not this would fit on another truck. Obviously it can be modified, but as it sits, I think it's kind of made specifically for the distance from the mounting part of the hitch to the basically to the top of the bumper. Everything else, you know, is adjustable. But so I'm going to put the camera, actually here's what I'll do. I made this little spot here for where the ramp sits. If you look at it from the side, you know, the hitch part kind of protrudes out a little bit, but doesn't really get in the way. But anyways, it's just fits under the shelf here, and you know, the other part, the dovetail part, hangs on the wood. So I'm gonna do it from start to finish. I'll remove the tailgate, and then I'll install everything together, and then I'll take the camera off the tripod and show some close-up points and some of the information about how it works, and you know, there are some drawbacks to it. There's a little bit of stability issues, but I'll talk about that when I get it installed. So I guess here is where this will go. This should work. I hope this video comes out good. I've never used this camera when I'm doing a video, so plus I'm not super good at these things. But anyways, we'll give it a go. So tailgate comes off, receiver comes out, and this is the first part here, which probably can't see very well, but this is the second part. This is the first part of the ramp. This is the third part, and I'll show you why it looks like this in a minute here. The third part and the newest is this part here. Hope you can see it. I'll do it closer, but it goes on here. All right, so I moved the camera so that I can actually put the equipment on there. Hopefully you can see better with this light here, but okay, so this is the newest part here. Previously I had a rack that would bolt into the back of that box up there, which would mean that you'd have to get in the back of the truck to get to all that stuff. This makes it a little bit easier. It fits a 1 gallon gas can, which really is just for 2 cycle. If my mower's full when I leave, I'm usually good for the day. But 2 cycle, sometimes I need more, but that's pretty much the way that I have it designed. I do have 2 brackets here for 2 pieces of equipment. I guess you could put an edger up there. The reason why there's 2 is because these were actually from a different project. I bought these from Northern Tool, and these pieces actually were up here, and they were turned this way. So I cut them off from up there and put them down here and welded them in. And the way that this actually works is the pin that holds the gate up also holds in the swing arm. So if you pull the pin up just enough, and I guess I need to put some kind of a marker or something so that I know for sure, but you pull it up just enough and you can take out this and it pivots open. And that's the way it looks when it's open. There's a couple of things I need to do. I need to work out a latching thing for this here. I gotta put caps on this and stuff too, but some kind of a latching thing. For right now I was putting vice grips here to keep it open. I don't have the mower obviously on the truck right now. It's already on the trailer and I don't want to get it off, but the last video shows that it obviously goes up there, so I'll drop the gate now so that you can see that it clears that swing arm pretty well. Okay, so here's basically the gist of it. This section here is, the overall length is about 6 feet. But this gate is actually a little bit longer than this one here, for a couple of different reasons. The first reason is that when I welded in these hinges, it bumped everything out. And then also, I think I did some math wrong, because I built the gate 6 feet initially and then realized, you know, that was going to be pretty stupid. I was going to have a towering gate off the back of the trailer, and that's just not practical. So I put it 2 pieces. Also, I built it out of 14 gauge, 16 gauge, 14 gauge. And the issue, obviously, with 6 foot of that is that it'll bow over time, even with my light lawnmower. So what I did was I put these feet that swing out when it drops which takes, you know, all the weight basically. Makes the gate much stronger. I mean, just to see what it would hold, I have a small car, a little Isuzu that I just drove up the one side of it just to see if it would bow, and I mean, it didn't even budge. So strength-wise, it's good. And then the truck doesn't even start taking the weight until you get to about here. The cool thing about that is that it pushes the truck down a little bit before you have to clear this section here. So there's no scraping at all. And obviously, the way that it's built, at any time you could put some adjustment points where it mounts to the hitch, which I'll show you now. So that is, I hope you can see it. It's kind of just a cross brace. Initially, I just welded this straight up and down piece here, and then I added these gussets later. And it's just welded to what I think is a 3-inch drop or raise receiver. That's the section that holds the weight. And then here, I welded in some chain eyes. And basically what I do is I just take the ratchet straps there and I pull them up, grab them here and ratchet strap it, which keeps it close towards the truck and makes it very sturdy. It doesn't wobble, it doesn't shake at all. When you drive down the road, you don't hear that, you know, the gate rattle that you get with trailers. So that's kind of cool. They really aren't necessary. You don't have to put the straps on. I mean, the weight is being held by that. I also did weld in these little feet. They don't exactly rest on the bumper, but it does keep it from wobbling back and forth when everything is in the up position, because it's a bit top heavy. One of the flaws that I do have is that this, with one more piece of equipment, flexes pretty good amount. I don't think that it would cause a major issue, you know, because you're not driving with it open. It's really just open to be out of the way, and to keep it more compact when it's all closed up. But this is where it mounts here, and it's really just two 3/4 inch pipe, 3/4 inch bar for hinges. And this metal here, I think, also is 14 gauge, so it is a little bit thin, but I was trying to keep it light, and I do have a light mower, so it's not really that big of a deal. These are just, you know, gussets for the most part. I did think about squaring this off, but it's really not necessary, and I like being able to step in through there if I need to. Getting off of the mower kind of requires you to go and stand up on these boxes and then walk off the edge. I'm probably going to end up building a step that just comes off here and just kind of hangs out, which might be able to integrate the latch that I need for this here. And really the only time you need the latch is if you're parked on a curve or something, or a slope, and the gate wants to stay closed. So I think this is, I hope this video is detailed enough that you guys can see what the deal is. I know that you saw I was threading some things in. I just put, I threaded this to a 12mm bolt that I could just thread in here to stop the gate from sliding off if I make a sharp turn. This bottom section here, you notice when I was installing it, I was having some trouble. And the reason why is because before, these weren't here. So I used to be able to put it in the complete upright direction and slide it on, and I forgot that now that these are in the way, it's got to be angled down a little bit before you can slide it on. But also, there is a 12mm bolt there that stops it from coming out this way. And what I did was, I made them opposite. So this one, you have to push that way to take off, and this one, you have to push that way to take off. I did that obviously so that I didn't accidentally pull one off while I was putting the other one on. Or maybe I'm out of my mind on that one. Either way, that's how it's done. So that's it. That's the ramp. There's really not much else. I'm trying to think of I'm not very good at these videos, so I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to show. I do only have one latch. My trailer's the same way. If you've watched that video, I only have one latch. I found that one good strong latch pin is more than sufficient. Even my dump section only has one latch like that, and I haven't had any troubles with it. So yeah, so that's pretty much that. And you know, this slope, because it's a 6-foot gate, but then there's also this dovetail section here is about 18 inches, I believe, from here to here. And the pitch of it, if you can, I'll try to give you an idea of like the pitch here. But the back of this truck is up a little higher than it was on the last video because I have different tires on here now, and also I am backed into my garage, and you know, the driveway has a natural slope, so the front of the truck's down a little farther. But this will give you an idea of the slope. It could be less. It doesn't need to be that steep. And I am considering installing, or you know, cutting this section out and installing a threaded rod to be able to adjust the pitch. And then also on these feet, adding a threaded rod and a sleeve type system so that you can tighten it or loosen it in order to raise up or lower the mid section of the gate here, which will help you with your deck clearance if you need it, depending on what kind of mower you have. So as far as right now, the only mower that I've taken up this thing is a what used to be a 34-inch Gravely. It has a 40-inch deck now. Tires are wider. There's a whole bunch of different things about it, but the overall length of it was standard, and it goes up and down just fine. The mower is small, so the deck clearance is worse on mine than it would be, I think, on a larger mower. So this pitch works out pretty good for me. I don't know what the degree is because I'm not an engineer. I really just kind of build things, and if they work great, if they don't, I chop them up and redo it. So that's basically what I got. If you have any other questions, or you want something specific as far as maybe if you guys even have some ideas, I was even thinking about maybe building a secondary one of these here for if I'm just doing tree trimming, you know, to have all of the things that I need for that. But anyway, this is the video. I hope it helps for the people who are asking about the up close stuff. Again, I don't really know what else to show. I showed the mounting points, I showed the swing arm, I showed the feet, showed the latch, I showed, I guess, yeah, I mean, I've pretty well showed this here where it attaches. So I think that's going to be it, gentlemen and ladies. If you got any questions or comments, let me know. Thanks.